Hi, I'm Stephanie Ricca here today with Jeff Wagoner, President and CEO of Outrigger Hotels and Resorts. Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
Can you give us a quick profile of Outrigger as it stands today? I know you've got several different tiers, whether it's your branded portfolio, your by Outrigger level, some other third-party properties that you have. Give us a snapshot.
You know, we've grown the company from one hotel many, many years ago. The Kelly family created this company. Today we have 37 properties across the globe. 6 of those are in Asia, property in Guam. We've got 30 properties in Hawaii as well. And so we've got those different tiers, as you indicated. The Outrigger brand is toes in the sand. So each one of those properties are really our premier resorts that you walk out of the property and you're right on the sand, no roads in between. The by Outrigger brand is really more of off-beach, but in a beach community. And then the third-party management is really a bigger piece. It's starting to be a bigger piece of what we're doing. We currently have 9 properties under management that are other brands and other owners. We've got about 3 letters of intent out there for 3 additional properties from a management perspective. And we're in the process of developing a new management company that will be branded as a third-party management organization.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
We'll probably launch it in the next 30 days or so. These new 3 properties that we have under letter of intent right now would be under that umbrella. And then we'll figure out if the 9 that we currently have the ability to weave into that, or that we do that over time.
Obviously, growth is a priority for Outrigger. I know in recent months you've hired a new chief development officer, and I think you've said, and I have to check my notes, you've said the mission for the company is to be the premier beach resort brand in the world.
Absolutely. You know, we have a growth strategy that we've put in place. We worked on a strategic plan that had 5 different elements to it. And, you know, there's a lot of different elements, like be really great at service and to be great revenue generators and those types of things. But growth was a big element of that. And we've developed that plan now, and we have a roadmap to be able to figure out how to execute our growth strategy. We see that across all the segments we just talked about, management, by Outrigger, and Outrigger. But we really do say and aspire to be the premier beach resort brand in the world, and that's the mission we're on today.
So there's growth geographically and expansion. There's also growth internally as a company. What are some ways that Outrigger is growing in terms of internal initiatives that you might be looking to expand, whether that's technology, sustainability, efforts like that?
Absolutely. Technology is a big piece. I think you hit on that. And we spent $15 million over the last 3 years on technology. So this is a company that didn't have a lot of the new technology in place. And there's different elements of that. Some of that is going to be guest-facing, and some of that is just making sure you've got the PCI compliance type processes in place as well. So technology is big for us. We have a program called Ozone, which is our sustainability program, and we have some really neat initiatives from an experience perspective for our guests. So an example of that is in Fiji, we actually grow coral, and our guests can go into the water with us to grow coral and plant it, and even come back on a future visit to be able to see how their coral's actually growing. In another property, we actually have created a kindergarten where there was an area that desperately needed some new schools and new classrooms, and we created the kindergarten, and we've also worked on some housing for some of the teachers in that particular area. So those types of experiences customers really enjoy when they go to our resorts.
It's interesting that you say that because, of course, personalization and experience are, I would say they're buzzwords, but they're not just buzzwords. Sure. I think they're here to stay, and nothing really says experience like a very Hawaii-centric hotel and resort company like Outrigger. Why do you think this type of travel is resonating so much with people today? And is there a particular spin that you think Outrigger does very well that maybe other brands or companies could benefit from?
Sure. You know, we really pride ourselves in being authentic. And one of the examples that I like to use is in Hawaii, we say aloha. In Fiji, we say bula. We don't try to force everybody into a Hawaiian culture. We try to say what's authentic in that particular market. And I think customers like that. They know they're not going to go into a cookie cutter type experience with us. They're going to get something unique and different. I think that's important. Personalization can be a buzzword, and it can be using people's names and things like that, but it's deeper than that. When you're really understanding the customer, what their needs are, what their travel experience desire is, and being able to execute on that.
How are you feeling about 2020, Jeff? Not just within your company, but we've talked about some positive, great growth trajectory, and we're hearing positive things here at the Alice Conference where we're filming. But what challenges do you think the industry is facing in particular this year that maybe are coming to a head like they haven't before?
Well, you hear people talk all the time about the cycle and what that really means and when a dip is going to occur. A lot of the cycles in the past or those dips have happened because of a real event that has occurred, and there's nothing on the horizon today that everybody's scared of happening. And so I think we feel like 2020 is going to be a very strong year. Frankly, in Hawaii, our properties were extremely successful in December. January has been a great month for us on the entire island, not only in our properties, but the entire island. So we're still seeing travel being very strong, and we're really bullish on 2020. We think it's going to be a very successful year for us.
Anything in particular, specifically, that you're looking forward to this year?
You know, I think this year is going to be a great growth year for us. You know, I've had the opportunity in the past to be with brands where early on you're figuring it out. You're trying to figure out what do we stand for? You know, what is our look and feel? What's the strategy? And we've done that. And now it's about execution. So I think you're going to see out of our company a really interesting growth trajectory that's going to develop over 2020.
Great. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Stephanie.